Module 4, Unit 2, Connecting to a Network. In this unit, guys, our topic for now is to identify the different roles of network devices that provides local connection and internet network connectivity, and then distinguish the advantages and disadvantages of different internet connection types. And then we will also cover the different computer connections that you can do, how to connect a computer either through a wired network or wireless network. So, and then lastly is to configure a wireless access point to a secure network settings. So guys, have you done connecting your network, home network by your own? I mean, usually, diba, when you order a DSL service or internet service, you always have to, rely with someone, and sometimes with the technician, no, na a service technician from the company that you ordered the service, and then yung iba may extra ano pa, may extra fees, extra charges to configure your own network. All they had to do is set up their Wi-Fi and then or their router, their modem, and then that's it. And here in US, usually pinapadala na lang sa'yo. And they have the option to order along with yung installer na who will do the installation for you. So sa mga ano, so mga IT people, of course, they can do it. And for first timers, of course, we have to order. And sometimes we don't have the time. But usually it saves a lot of effort if you can do it by your own. And also, you also have the knowledge, lalo na pag, something goes wrong. You know what to do, you know where to start somewhere, di ba? So, let's talk about internet service types. Maraming ano yan eh. Ano ba mga different kinds of internet service? No, meron mga services for SOHO. And remember, SOHO is a small office, home office, no? No, ito yung mga small computer network that you can find at home or small businesses, as in small businesses like a branch office with a couple of people lang. So, merong mga service dyan is the devices being provided, yung mga internet router or internet modem or router modem na rin. And do you remember what do we mean? We know router, diba? But modem? Modem is it stands for actually for modulation and demodulation device. So it's the one. It's the unit. It's the unit that the company sends to you to be installed at your site. So yung mga appliances na yan, guys, na that are used for SOHO, yung excuse me, multifunction na rin that provides connectivity for switch, and then meron na rin wireless router or access point na rin, and then internet modem. Yung switch, ito mismo yung where you connect, where you plug your computers. Usually mga 4 connections, even up to 8. You can actually expand the port or the available ports to another 8 ports to kung medyo you have to put your TV, you have to, and if you have your scanner, so you can do that. And all you have to do is extend the number of ports and get a smaller like unmanaged device, and i-plug mo lang din sa likod sa modem or sa wireless router. And then your access point, this is where we connect our wireless devices, of course. And then whether you are connected to Wi-Fi or to the switch that comes with the wireless modem, they could communicate with each other, because you have the option, for example, to connect your printer and scanner through Wi-Fi or through a switch. So dapat lang na yung access point mo, no, it has the compatibility, and even your device, it's compatible with the access point that you are that's been delivered, the one that you ordered. And then yung router and modem, ito yung ano, as I've said earlier, ito yung that belongs to the service provider. This is the one that actually gives you the access um, to the internet. So what else? So meron mga technology na some of you are already aware, yung tinatawag na DSL. Ito yung it uses it's a digital digital line. Kaya nga ang tawag dyan is digital subscriber line, yung DSL. So it uses the same telephone cabling. The port is RJ11, if you remember that. Yun ang ginagamit as a cable connection for the modem that's been supplied to you. And the type of signaling, no, asymmetric DSL. I mean, it doesn't have to be, in sync. I mean, walang synchronization needed. Asymmetric, independent. All you have to do is sometimes is plug and play, and then the speed of download is usually 24 Mbps, and the upload is typically is 1.4 Mbps, or nowadays kung meron pang DSL, which is of course kasi may mga fiber na rin, no? So it could be more than that yung speed na yan. And then speaking about fiber, ito yung meron ng Google Fiber, I think converges sa Pilipinas, meron na rin fiber. Instead of using the existing telephone cable, meron ng fiber optic lines, no, provided in even residential areas nowadays. Dito sa US, may mga fiber na rin. Talaga namang pag merong fiber optics, no, it has the capacity, no, to provide you up, 200 Mbps initially. Mine is actually, what I'm subscribing right now is 300. Yeah, 300 Mbps. So it's a very high bit rate DSL. Higher, of course, you're using no fiber, as we all know. Kaya nga yung sa residential, it is called fiber to the home, FTTH, or to the sa mga company na fiber to the curb, yung mga, sa mga public or commercial areas. So typically 52 Mbps ang download up to down, and then yung upload is like 16 Mbps. Minimum yan, no? And then meron ding mga cable internet, di ba? And ito rin, aside from the telephone company na integrated to DSL that provides DSL services, aside from fiber, yung mga bagong service provider yan, and then yung mga existing cable company, cable hybrid yun, meron ng cable access, and then in device has also that comes with wireless wireless router, and then meron ding cable router at the same time. So in coax, if you remember na from from the media, network media, ito yung coaxial cable, yung aside from twisted pair, ito yung solid wire, ito yung the same cable na yung ginagamit sa mga antenna. Actually, the cable itself, ito yung makakapal, no? And then it is also high speed. So merong 1.2 gigabits per second, and then throughput is 200 Mbps. Why it is high speed? Doon naman talaga ginagamit yung mga coaxial cable. Even ginagamit nga sa video, 'di ba? Sa mga cable TV, which is very high bandwidth requirement. So, lalo pag ginamit sa internet just for static data or dynamic video, it's even more. It's an evolution na rin. Evolution of cable TV companies. Now, do you know, it's a simple question, di ba? You need to be aware na pag nag-down ang internet nyo, what do we do? Call for help, no? Reset agad. So, usually, may mga indicators yan. We need to be aware how to check, and verify a connection. So may mga status icon dyan that you can tell, no, from this example, di ba, you can exactly tell the difference. The icon speaks for itself na ito, this is good, this is disconnected, or somehow there's a warning. No warning, or usually pag sa mga network, ito yung mga you are connected but you don't have the right IP address o may mga IP conflict, there's a missing configuration. Ito totally down talaga, kaya cross. So, starting from the status icon, and then meron ding you can verify the connection about the IP address being provided to you. Kung kung meron pang available IP address, or you're not getting an IP address at all because you have the wrong configuration. Yung mga routers, mga wireless routers, meron mga built-in DHCP or Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol services. So the very simple test after this verifying the configuration, after you have status icon and then the configuration, like for example you check your IP address, then just simply open browser, an internet. Bago magbuting-ting, disconnect, no power reset, do the basic and then open a browser. Punta ka sa public website like Google, Yahoo, or Facebook. If you have connections, your internet is good. If you're the only one having, and then the other people that beside you are also connected on the same network that you have, that's another story. So you go to this basic how to verify a connection. Now let's talk about connections, other services, through about internet or in a network. Starting with wireless or connections aside from Wi-Fi, let's start with microwave satellite. Ito yung mga satellite dishes. You have seen this, mga installed sa mga residential na rin. Before it's cable TV, now it's also hybrid because aside from before may mga satellite tuner, di ba? Satellite modem, meron na ring router modem. Mga bagong generation na to ng antenna that has the same connectivity or connection that goes to your router. Pag may router modem ka na, there you go. Everything is the same from that end. You can connect to the network. All you have to do is be aware of the connection on this one. No, so just to let you know, basics of microwave, of course, is satellite communication. Yung mga ground terminal, ground station, or ground terminal at residential area, it's actually directly connected to the satellite. Line of sight yan, line of sight connection. Kaya pag ini-install nila yan, meron mga mga directional finder, may mga latitude and longitude coordinates, that needs to be set up. Kailangan kasi yan line of sight, it should be pointing on the same region na may signal coverage ng satellite. Kaya align ang sa madalit salita. Now, so even in rural areas now, ito yung mga remote areas, itong kinagandahan ngayon ng satellite, satellite communication na it becomes very cheap nowadays. Na before, only the companies, actually mga service provider na nakaka-afford yan, ang mga big companies that they have their own private network. Now, even mga public areas in the Philippines, sa mga islands, it's impossible na wala silang internet connectivity. The only problem there right now is yung weather, of course. So remote, that's very useful. And then when it comes to yung performance, yung tinatawag na high latency. When we say high latency, ito yung time, transmit time or transmission time o kaya response time. This meron tinatawag na packet delay because imagine satellite is in di ba, in Earth's orbit. At least 22,000 miles if I remember it right. So the time it takes to travel to send a signal, and then the time it takes to reach its destination, remote site pa, that adds to the packet delay. May mga ganyang consideration. Plus yung weather. Pag clear sky, yung yung latency mo, transmission latency is ideal, of course. And then Usually mga modem dyan, mga pang video kasi it started from video, no, and they call it DVBS, no, digital video broadcast satellite modem. Of course, you need a modem, modulator, demodulator, itong interface mo for your satellite signal, and then the internet. Now, nowadays, yung phone system, it uses the cellular services, di ba? And yung radio frequency pa rin yan, cellular radio. That's a type of connection that uses yung mga cellular companies like Smart, Globe, Verizon dito, ATN, and so on. Sa madalit salita, how can you also say it, no? Yung mga mobile phones, tablets, may mga cellular connection and you can connect to the internet nowadays. It started with voice only and then text only and then lahat meron na, multimedia na. So, ang yung mga transmitting tower, tawag dyan mga base station, no? And especially in the Philippines, aside from the tower, may mga antenna, no, ng mga cellular antenna, basta sa mga clear area, mounted sa building, o kaya at the rooftop, it's the same thing. Transmitting tower pa rin yan. So, yung mga signal dyan, GSM, that's what it started, yung communication, di ba? Global system for mobile communication. This is back in the 90s. And then the interface ng T1A, from T1A IS 95, CDMA1 ang tawag doon. So CDMA is wireless communication yan. Usually it's code division multiple access. It's mga communication engineers are very aware of this. Mga ECE kung tawagin din, di ba? And then yung mga services that can provide at the same time with as I've said, it started with text, voice and text, and then now with internet. Yan yung mga services like GPRS and EDGE stands for General Packet Radio Services or Enhanced Data Rates for GSM. And then meron din tinatawag na high speed, no, packet access. Yan ang mga started from here and then nag-evolve to HSPA, and then we had CDMA 2000, and then long-term evolution, LTA modems, diba? LTE devices, and then advanced, yung mga bagong version ng LTE. Those are the things that you will hear, no, from telephone companies or mobile companies. Telephone companies generally before just wired DSL. Now telephone companies either wired or cellular services, they provide it too, right? Now when we say connecting to the network through wireless, those are all radio frequencies, no? So nandiyan na rin yung Wi-Fi networking, and Wi-Fi networking na meron mga wireless routers, and then all those services that we discussed previously. All of those are radio frequencies. They're using radio frequency, but the thing that we need to be aware is, di ba, yung services that is provided in public, yung mga open wireless connections. May mga access points dyan that is provided for everyone. And you know this, pumunta ka sa mga cafe, sa mall, sa mga restaurants, sa mga hotels, they have access for Wi-Fi, lalo na sa mga guests. Minsan yung kahit hindi guest, di ba, sa hotels, no, makiki-Wi-Fi ako rito. And Wi-Fi services is in the Philippines, especially attraction niya na it attracts guests or visitors na may Wi-Fi dito. Tipid sa load, di ba? And once you see the symbol, automatic alam mo na kagad dyan what does it mean, no? So the thing that we need to be aware as well is yung security. We need to be aware with that. Basta connect, that's good. Browse, that's good. But limit yung application. Like for example, I don't open bank accounts. Diba? You can open your bank account through your phone. So I don't open that in public or even Wi-Fi. Not unless na I'm at the hotel and then may mga doon, diba, na you can only connect to the network as a guest. Kasi in public, may mga listener dyan. Yung mga hacker, no? May mga eavesdropper na what they do is they're scanning the network They are scanning kung sino yung mga connected din dyan, and then all you need to do is a protocol analyzer, and they will see every data, every details, no? And then yung mga decoders or encryptors, no, decryptors, that's all they need, that's all they do. So awareness, do the only necessary things, but you don't use that for some confidential information that you need to work on. You don't do that in public, di ba? May mga private and public and then conversations sa network. Now, talking about wireless technology, may mga standards and compatibility dyan. Diba? And I mentioned before, yung 802 standard, maraming variation, maraming series, and it started in the late 90s, no? 802.11, may A, B, G, and then N, and then AC. So, actually, Wi-Fi. What do you mean by Wi-Fi? It's a short for wireless fidelity, di ba? Wireless LAN, wireless fidelity. That's Wi-Fi. What it means for. May mga standard dyan na every standard, it comes with a transfer rate, the speed, and the frequency from 5 gigahertz to 2.4. Meron naman combination. Kasi to support older devices, and then balik na naman sa 5 gigahertz because higher frequency, higher bandwidth. Ganun lang naman yan. And then, yan, mga legacy standards, A, variation B because of the speed, and then G, higher speed in 2003. So remember, 802, merong IEEE. IEEE is an organization, Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers. So yung mga current standards ngayon that ends with N or AC. Yung mga combined standard, enhanced standard from the previous one. And then yung mix of different standards, may mga access points na only supports the recent one, and meron naman yung mga both standards. Yung mga bagong generation is sometimes it's also this is the reality that you need to be aware in IT business. Fini-phase out din yung mga lumang technology. So that's one way, no, to push new technologies and to promote new services, no, na if you have higher capacity, you can do more. You can do imaging, you can watch, you can do streaming, di ba? Uso pa naman ang streaming ngayon anywhere you go, and then daming apps for video streaming that are free. Then compatible modes can reduce performance. Yun yung ano doon. Kasi you have to support all of this. So unless it has a more powerful hardware and more advanced software, yes. But this is the reality. Expect na the services na binibigay, even for free, you don't get everything as expected, as ideal as it should be. And kaya nga merong slowness, no? May kabagalan. Ang ano nga lang maiba lang ng konti is that yung mga subscribe na, yung binabayaran mo, mabagal din, di ba? Minsan mas maganda pa in public. Punta na lang ang mall. Now, guys, going back to my question originally, when you order an internet service, it's good that you know how to do it. It's good that you can, you know where to start if something goes wrong. Lalo na when you are aware how to configure an access point. This is an example, no, of a user interface when you are accessing a wireless access point, TP-Link. No, may mga advanced settings just that you can do. So how to do it? How to open this? You need to connect as an admin. You need to know an IP address of your wireless router. How do you know that? Sometimes, nandun sa label, yung IP address, and most of the times, actually, even the username and password nandun din. So, if you don't know that, and sometimes they don't give it, usually yung default gateway, go to your computer, kung ano yung default gateway IP, yun ang IP ng access point mo. Open ka ng browser, and then type mo yung IP address, it will ask you for your username and password. Ang mga ang mga service provider, yung ina-attach din yung admin and username na sometimes konti lang ang pinagkaiba niyan sa mga ibang umu-order din ng who have the same services. So, it is recommended na, of course, all the time na you have to change the address. Ikaw lang. And don't worry about it. Pag sinurrender mo na yan, sinoli mo na yan, they know how to reset it. So, you log in with the password. Actually, I would recommend this when you log in, change the password, di ba? Change it to the password that you only one you know, na ikaw lang nakakaalam. And then you can do all the configuration settings, di ba? From security, especially security, the type of security protocols that you can imply, the version, no, o kaya automatic para sa mga kumukonek sa iyo, or the encryption, you can do that. So, yung station ID o service set ID, yan ang distinct for every wireless access point. Lalagyan mo ng name na that defines you, no? Dito, usually, iba-ibang pangalan, mga talagang you can identify na, oh, alam mo, Pilipino may-ari dito dahil pangalan na access point is very Filipino, no? Sometimes naman, it's a young kid or students that you can tell. Now, when you're configuring access point, guys, we need to be aware about wireless security protocols. Yan yung mga tinatawag na, from the figure alone, no? Sinabi na rito yung WPS, WEP, WPA, and 2. Ito yung mga encrypted channel, no? That no one, parang yun eh, when we say encrypted, it's in open airwaves, no, sa radio. Na yung mga may corresponding encryption, sila lang nakakaintindihan. So it's like na may mga nag-uusap in public, no, ibang lengguwahe don't understand. Those are example of encrypted communication. Even it sounds similar but it doesn't really sound the same thing, no? Yun, unscrambled message na only people who have the same encryption, sila lang nakakaintindihan. So, ano ba mga standards sa encryption for wireless security? In WEP, Wired Equivalent Privacy, and then Wi-Fi, Protected Access, WPA, and then the version 2. So, ang mga ito, they work like merong passphrase. When you are trying to log in, it asks for a code, di ba? So, to join. Now, when you connect to Wi-Fi in public, meron tinatawag na open authentication, di ba? And then, when you try to connect, meron namang munang captive portals. May lalabas na ganito, for example, sa Starbucks. Kung nasa Starbucks kayo or any public area, may mga captive portals. Ito yung mga somehow a little bit secure. More secure actually than the public Wi-Fi na walang captive portals. No? Kasi merong yan eh. It prompts you whether you agree na kung gusto mo connect in an open authentication. That's public. Kasi meron ng rules ngayon na yung about privacy even on internet, on network especially. Yung mga information mo, no? They don't want to be accountable with that. Yung mga nagpo-provide ng mga libreng connection. And you will see this typically, as mentioned, sa mga public areas, mga hotspots na usually we call it. And then in captive portal, ito yung may mga option dito for secondary authentication. Kasi meaning you are exclusively connected to the Wi-Fi from sa Starbucks Wi-Fi, and then they will guarantee you na and they will promise you na this and that about security and then accountability. And then makikita mo they're not accountable for that. No, I'm just kidding. Meaning it's an insurance, an assurance as well na you are an authorized user using their internet, no, their Wi-Fi access. So, when you are configuring a wireless client, ito alam natin lahat to. It is all about connecting your devices to Wi-Fi, di ba? Pag naka-enable ang inyong Wi-Fi, lalo sa this is an example sa computer. Dito makikita mo hindi ka pa connected. So, when you enable that, may scan kagad ng laptop mo, may mga available Wi-Fi services. All you have to do is select it, and then it will prompt you to enter the code, the passphrase. And then, there you go. May lalabas na captive portal. Di ba? And then, When it comes to network connections, meron mga speed limitations that you are all aware. Aside from the speed that is available, may mga tinatawag na attenuation and interference. Ano ba yung mga attenuation? Attenuation is a term. No, it means that a decrease in signal strength. Siyempre, parang ilaw yan. Light is actually a, it falls under RF spectrum. No? Na habang lumalayo ang signal, habang lumalayo ang tinatravel niyan, bumababa ang signal. A degrading signal, it's called attenuation. Yung interference naman, it's a noise. A noise, no? That na interfering with the Wi-Fi signal. So ang Wi-Fi in the range normally about 30 feet. And then the more you go away from from the Wi-Fi, nagde-degrade yung signal, nag-attenuate at a longer range of course. And then kaya meron tinatawag na option na dynamic rate switching, no, or selection. Ito yung, of course, yung data rate at a range, at a given range, nag-iiba rin or nag-a-adjust. Yung mga, automatic adjustment in the Wi-Fi, within the Wi-Fi or wireless routers. So, dapat line of sight, di ba? Ang radio waves. Kahit hindi lang satellite ang line of sight, even the cellular service, all radios should be on clear line of sight. May mga bakit may signal inside the room o kaya from another room. These signals actually it penetrates yung mga non-metal, no? And then yung mga less dense materials, and may mga reflection din, of course. And then sa mga fans na mga metal, signal are different or actually totally blocked, no? Naharang yon. And then yung interference na sinasabi ko, yung noise, even if it is a noise because you're using a signal and then may nasasagap na ibang signal, interference tawag doon. And it is also called as a noise. Lalo na mga ibang devices, electronic devices, emitting radio signals o RFI kung tawagan, radio frequency interferences. So a radio signal coming from another device o from another Wi-Fi, noise ang tawag doon, creating interferences. So, when you are connecting a network through, this time through wired connections, di ba? At home, alam natin yan. When it comes to enterprise, it uses the same cabling type. It uses the same connection, RJ45. And may mga, usually, mas maayos yung ports, yung mga wall connections. And may mga label yan. May mga designations kung saan to be identified, I mean, by the, by IT staff or network engineers na when they look at the network port, alam nila na saan naka-assign yan, kung anong designation yan pag termination connection sa switch. So ang cabling yan, it's either floored or ceiling. Yung mga underground, under the floor or overhead sa ceiling. So, yung mga switches din yan, may tinatawag when it comes to enterprise, yung mga commercial grade or enterprise grade. Hindi ito yung mga plug and play. Hindi ito yung mga unmanaged switch, yung mga nakikita natin sa SOHO networks, no? Sa mga home networks. These are managed switches, meaning that in order to establish connection or to make it run, you have to configure this. May mga configuration na rito from device name convention to subnetting to routing kung layer 2 and layer 3 switching yan. So may maraming capabilities dito na more advanced na only mga IT engineers, network engineers, mga IT people can do. Itong ginagawa every day. And then it's not just a single switch na maraming ports, may mga fiber optics connection, multiple switches din. For example, in one floor, ito ang device. O kaya in one floor na maraming connection, merong dalawang device dyan, and then may uplink na fiber to another switch, either to the next floor or to to the data center mismo, sa central room or data room. Nandun yun. Maraming ports, maraming cable dyan na nakakonect. Even the wireless networks, mga enterprise level, hindi na rin ito yung plug and play o kaya pag you may mga configuration dito that are so advanced. Pero yung standards, WEP, WPA, it's the same. It's the same thing. So, makikita mo rito sa enterprise, may mga routing na rin. It's not plug and play anymore. It's more advanced. May mga VPN pang tinatawag na VPN connection. And actually, may mga management control and then devices, tinatawag na controller or concentrator. What are those? Pag halimbawa in a building, maraming access points, hundreds, no? Yun ang ginagamit concentrator to manage it. Centralize. Imagining, kung isa-isa mo yun, remember previously na how to configure access point, you go directly, no? Kung 100 devices yan, no? Isa-isahin mo i-access yan. No, meron ng concentrator na tinatawag. And then yung routers, instead of yung mga sa mga home network, 'di ba, sa Soho, ganito na mga itsura niya, mga malalaki na, maraming ports, powerful hardware, in licensing, in clients, maraming features na hindi mo makikita sa mga home networks. So, which makes sense of course kasi mas complicated ang connection, mas maraming devices, mas exposed sa mga employees na who could play along or even in public areas sa mga hallways. So, and then may mga features diyan na tinatawag na virtual LAN or VLANs na wala sa mga home grade networks or routers. So, may mga VLAN na iba-iba na ang subnet. It's networking na talaga na only network engineers or IT engineers could do it. Kasi for example, this switch, ganito itsura, another switch, and then yung router, ganito rin itsura. So it's a more advanced network management. In communication between subnets, dyan din sa router nangyayari. Because subnets are different networks, either physically or virtually. And then, dito rin sa router, dyan kinokonek yung connection yan to WAN links is not as simple as the home links, no, home WAN links, no, but the concept is still the same. Nagsusubscribe pa rin yan sa mga internet service provider. You can do it also most of the time. This time it's fiber or radio, yung cellular or satellite, mga remote branches, di ba? So in this unit, we have learned to identify the roles of different network devices, diba? Providing local and internet network connectivity. And then we also distinguish the advantages and disadvantages of internet connection types, diba? From wireless to wireless networks, and then yung mga satellite connections, we covered those. Ano yung mga benefits and disadvantages, lalo pag pinag-uusapan is remote, diba? And then for company grade, commercial grade to home or Soho commercial level, no? Oh, Soho devices. And then we discuss the connection or how to connect a computer in the network, diba? Lalo yung mga mobile devices, which some of you are already aware of this, but the technology behind it, we covered it. And then we also discuss how to configure access point, basically how to access your access point. And then I told you na yung default gateway, usually yun ang IP address that you need. The only difference between commercial and Soho networks is that more features and may mga advanced configuration that an IT engineer or network engineers handles. I hope this has been informative to you. See you on the next unit. Thank you.